Hello and welcome again. Please subscribe to our channel if you did not subscribe. This is a session on selecting STM32H7 over STM32F series. So there are two major criterions for a selection. One is for depending upon the performance, and next is kernel facilities available in the STM32H7 family. So let's quickly jump into performance. CPU cache, multi-buffering features, multi-layer features, hardware acceleration, and hardware JPEG decoding are the extra performance topics which we are going to check with this STM32H7. CPU cache. Let's get into it. Benefit from Cortex M7 performance, that is 16 KB dedicated to instruction cache and 16 KB dedicated to the data cache. And here is the system STM32H7 series system architecture. You can see like Cortex M7 16 KB of both the caches, ITCM 64 kilobytes and DTCM of 128 kilobytes, and CPU and 32-bit AHB bus matrix, that is D2 domain, and 64-bit AXI matrix, that is D1 domain, and 32-bit AHB bus matrix, that is D3 domain. And these are all the peripherals and flashes and FMC quad SPA support and AHB1, AHB2, AHB support, SRAM 128 and SRAM 32 kilobytes, SRAM 1, 2 and 3. So moving on, using the STM32H7 series, the CPU load is decreased with the video module from 87% to 5% compared to the STM32F7 series, thanks to the hardware JPEG decoding and the support of hardware conversion from YCB CR to RGB using Chrome Art acceleration. So instruction cache and data cache are enabled in main.c file as shown with in the code. That is, configure the MPU attributes as write through, that is MPU config, and CPU cache enable. So next feature in the performance is multi-buffering features. The multi-buffering features is the use of more than one frame buffer so that the display ever shows a screen that is already completely rendered, even if a drawing operation is in process. When starting the process of drawing, the current content of the front buffer is copied into the back buffer. After that, all drawing operations take effect only on this back buffer. After the drawing operation has been completed, the back buffer becomes the front buffer, making the back buffer the visible front buffer. Normally only requires the modification of the start address in the frame buffer register of the display controller. Let it be LTDC. Now it must be considered that the display refreshes a display approximately 60 times per second. After each period, there is a vertical synchronization signal known as VSync signal, VSYNC. The best moment to make the back buffer, the new buffer is the signal. New front buffer is the signal. If not, considering the VSync signal, tearing effects may occur. Tearing effect is something like this. You can see that cube has been teared off in this particular figure. So next, coming to the multi-layer features, windows can be placed in any layer of the or display. Drawing operations is usable on any layer or display. Since there are only small differences from this point of view, multiple layers and multiple displays are handled in the same way using the same API routines and are simply referred to as multiple layers, even if the particular embedded systems uses multiple display. Sorry about it. And let's see the independent layer management. Here you can see layer 0 and layer 1 with the desktop 0, Windows 0, desktop 1, window 1 and window 2. This is how the structure would be of an independent layer management system. Let's quickly move on to the next performance, that is hardware acceleration. With the STM32H7 demonstrations, the hardware acceleration capability of a STM32H7 devices are used. STEMWin offers a set of customization callbacks to change the default behavior based on the hardware capabilities. So let's look into the hardware JPEG decoding. The JPEG peripheral provides a fast and simple hardware compressor and decompressor of JPEG images with the full management of JPEG headers. The JPEG decoder outputs are organized in Y, CB, CR blocks. The STM32F7 and H7 series devices supports the hardware JPEG decoding. Using the STM32F7 series, the conversion from YCB CR to RGB is performed by software. Using the STM32H7 series, the YCB CR to RGB conversion is accelerated by the ChromeArt, allowing to reach 100 fps with 640 by 480 resolution versus 38 fps with the STM32F7 series. That means from 38 fps we can boost it to the 100 fps. So we should note that for more details about JPEG hardware decoding, please refer to the application note called JPEG hardware codec peripheral in STM32F76 and H7 line microcontrollers, and the application note number is AN4996. So let's quickly see with this stuff. Here you can make it out that hardware decoding MSV47839V1, maximum frame rate 38 fps up to 100 fps, and 2.7 faster STM32F7 at 200 MHz, STM32H7 at 400 MHz. You can see the comparison over here. So we are done with the performance. Let's look into some of the kernel options available in that STM32H7. Let's quickly go into the overview. And the role of the demonstration kernel is mainly to provide a generic platform that controls the monitor of all application processes. The kernel provides a set of friendly user APIs and services, allowing the user modules to benefit from all the hardware and firmware resources. The kernel provides the tasks and services listed below as hardware and module initialization, BSP initialization, that is SDRAM, touchscreen, CRC, RTC, Quad SPI, etc., and then GUI initialization. And in kernel also provides a memory management, graphical resources and main menu management, and storage management, system monitoring and settings, CPU utilities such as CPU usage, running tasks, etc. Let's quickly look at the kernel components and services. This is how the kernel components and services are associated in STM32H7. STM32HAL drivers, which are in green, and STM32 BSP drivers, and in middle, which are in blue, are file system, memory management, storage unit, menu and graphical management, CPU utilities, kernel log, settings and backup management, memory management. And on right in the gray you can look at graphical library, FreeRTOS and CMSIS. Alright, let's move on to the kernel initializations after this. So once the low level resources are initialized, the kernel performs the STEMWin GUI library initialization and prepares the common services, memory manager, storage units, and modules manager, kernel log. Upon the full initialization phase, the kernel adds and links the kernel adds and links the system, user modules to demonstration core. The first task of the kernel is to initialize the hardware and firmware resources to make them available to its internal processes and the modules around it. So the kernel starts by initializing the HAL system clocks and then the hardware resources needed by the middleware components such as touchscreen, SDRAM, quad SPI, flash memory, backup SRAM, and real-time clock RTC. Okay, so these were the points which I just now discussed, and let's move on to the kernel processes and tasks. The kernel is composed of main task and software timer scheduled by the FreeRTOS through the CMS IS OS wrapping layer. In graphical user interface thread, this task initializes the demonstration main menu and then handles the graphical background task when requested by the STEMWin. So you can have a look at this program. We have a static void GUI thread which takes an argument of void constant, and the K storage unit is called GUI init GUI X init 05 and enable the multi-buffering using WM multi-buffer underscore enable GUI set layer visible EX VIS EX 1,0 and GUI select layer K init menu and then display immediately the menu. GUI background tasks here in this case it's an OS semaphore wait. So software timers managing periodically each 30 milliseconds the touchscreen state. Here it is K underscore touch update. So let's quickly jump on to the kernel graphical aspect. The graphical aspect of STM32 code demonstration is divided into three main graphical components listed below as splash at the board reset. The splash screen appears for a few seconds. The splash screen can be skipped by a simple click on the screen or through an hardware button to launch the main menu of the three demonstrations. In case of STM32H747i disk 1, that is discovery board provided without LCD screen board, the demonstration software ends with blanking the red LED LD3. Here is the figure for splash screen. Start the main menu of demonstration by clicking on dedicated icon. So see the figure. This is how it would be. So we are done with kernel graphical aspects. Okay. Let's move on to the kernel main menu management. So there is an important note. This user manual describes all the demonstration modules. STEMWin and TouchGFX modules are detailed as the source code is provided. The main demonstration menu is initialized and launched by GUI thread before the initialization of the menu. The following actions are performed. The icon view widget contains the icons associated with the added modules. The user can launch a module by a simple click. The user can also slide the icons and select the modules and draw the background image, restore general settings from backup memory, set up the main desktop callback to manage main windows management, and here is the demonstration. See in this figure you can see an audio player and this is where you can click where the hand symbol is there. This is how the STEMWin demonstration main menu would appear like, or we can customize it. So a module is launched with a simple click on the associated icon by calling the startup function in the module structure. This is performed when an WM underscore notification underscore released message arrives at the desktop callback with ID underscore icon view underscore menu. You can go through this code. So in this callback, we have WM underscore message using a pointer P message has been passed through. Switch through that message. So WM underscore notify parent, then ID and encode. Switch encode. So it's simple switch case place statements. If ID is ID icon view, do this ST animated icon view and etc. Else WN underscore invalidate window P message wins clone. So now we can jump onto the module manager. The kernel manages the modules. It is responsible for initializing relative hardware and GUI resources, common resources such as storage unit, graphical widget and system menu. So in this figure we will see functionalities and properties of the modules. See, in graphical forms properties, we have distant control, which is and background task, that is optional modules, and low power management, that is also an optional modules. Okay, MSV47887V1. So we have configuration, error management, safe close down module, initialization module, application task. So each module provides the following functionalities and properties. One is icon and graphical component structure, method to start the module, method to close down safely the module such as hot unplug for MS flash disk. So method to manage low power module modes, which is optional, and application task, module background process, which is also optional, remote control method, which is also optional, specific configuration, and then error management. So backup and settings configuration. The STM32Cube demonstration saves the kernel and module settings using the following method. Using the RTC backup register 32-bit data width, the data to save must be 32-bit data and can be defined as a bit field structure. See this audio settings type def. One is repeat. So the structure will have, apart from that, uinit 32 underscore td 32 variable. So structure consists of repeat, pause, play, stop, mute, volume reserved with the corresponding values. So two kernel APIs are used to save or restore the structure from RTC backup. That is k underscore backup save parameter, which takes two arguments, address and data, which in fact are uinit 32 underscore t. And second one is uinit 32 underscore t k underscore backup, bkup restore parameters, which takes just the address. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel for more updates. In the next sessions we will come on to the analog in STM32H7, computing, connectivity, memory, multimedia, power and thermal, security, system core, timers, trace and debug in the upcoming series. Please stay tuned, subscribe and press the bell icon for the notification. Thank you again.